Good evening there, out there in Raider land. So, here we are. Raiders lost today in London to the Seahawks. What do you want me to tell you? They are who we thought they were. I've been telling you all season that their line is suspect, and once again it had proven itself. Derek Carr sacked multiple times, injured, and our receivers weren't getting open. They never had time. They didn't have time to clear 5 yards, and Derek Carr was going down. So I'm not surprised, and no one else should be either. You know, I've been watching all the haters. Blame Gruden. Blame Carr. Blame the coaching. Man, y'all need to grow up. Y'all need to grow up, because when you grow up, you enter this thing called life. And when you enter this thing called life, you have this thing called reality. And the Raiders have realities to this team. And it does no good sitting there and denying that these things aren't happening. Okay? The Raiders have the best team they are going to have this year. And it's not good enough to compete. That's reality. You don't get 10 first-round draft picks every year to field the perfect team. You have to build teams over years. And in the ebb and flow of building teams, you have contracts that come up, you have free agencies that come up, you have injuries, you have all kinds of things you have to do to put all the pieces together of a team. And you have to cut off your own arm sometimes to make your leg run. Or you have to cut off one of your legs so you can move with your arms. This team is on its first year of a rebuild. I don't know if we have all the pieces there for that rebuild right now in any of our new players that we have. We have 4 number 1 draft picks at this point throughout the next 2 years, and half of those are going to be bust. That is the traditional first round success ratio. So I digress. Let's talk about today's game. Did the Raiders fake themselves out today? And I'm going to tell you, I think they did. I'm going to tell you why. Marshawn Lynch is coming to see his old team in Seattle, and I can see it now. Gruden comes in and looks at Marshawn and says, we're going to make a statement this game. We're going to make a statement this week. And we're going to just go out there and we're going to run the ball down their throat. And that's what he did on the first 3 play calls. Which is fine if your line can open up holes and block for you. You know, when you get Marshawn out in space with a head of steam, it is going to be a positive run. But when you hand him the ball and Feliciano can't block, and Jackson can't block, and Parker can't block, you know, and Miller can't block, I don't care. You're not going to dictate anything. You need to take a look at all your personnel. So I think they put themselves into this head game where they already came out with those first 15 plays and they said, we're going to establish the run today because I'm John Gruden and you're Marshawn Lynch, and we're going to make a statement in front of your old team about the back that they let get away. And I think in doing that, they faked themselves out. They didn't game plan for the team. They game planned for statements. They game planned to come out there. I could almost tell. You can almost see the wheels turning. These guys are ready. They're going to establish themselves. They're going to make a statement. They're going to come out and dictate offense. And that's all good. There's nothing wrong with that here. When you look out, when your soldiers on that field, you want me to tell you? It was a good plan in theory, but we can't execute those kind of things. Here's the things that we can do. We can do quick slants. We can do, we can stretch the field vertically and dump the pass off. On your check down, we can do a lot of things. None of them are going to win you games consistently. Okay? Now I'm going to talk about some of the things that I think that we can do and need to do, like straight away, right now, as of yesterday. And I'm going to tell you one thing that can improve this team right now, and should, going forward. But let's look at today's game. Offensive line, I've already said it. They can't pass block, and today they couldn't run block. Today also, we found ourselves in penalty time. And when you start backwards with this team, you're in for a long day. I think it was the second possession. We had 1st and 30, where Seahawks were 1st and 30 after a number of penalties. Thank goodness they kicked the ball to us. We didn't do anything, but that's when you're starting with negative yardage, it's not going to be good. Okay. First and foremost, take away everything I've said about good old number 77 Miller. I'm not as down on Parker yet, but come on. KO is out today, and when you have KO and our center working side by side, taking two-level run blocking and things of that nature, it's a different complexion of this game. Not the case today. So that's week number 2 without KO. Lynch, I think he did the best that he can. I've mentioned before, don't start him running, to the sideline. Start him running downhill. Of course, that also means you have to be able to open up a hole for him. We didn't do that. Richard, he came in big for us today on some very clutch plays. And respect. I don't think he's our long-term solution at all. But right now, he is one bright spot that right now is giving us some productivity in the most important moments of the game. Amari Cooper. Terrible hit. We didn't get the flag thrown for that. They need to look at that. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's talking about that. Carr didn't have time to hit many receivers today, and that's entirely on the line. But that is the best line that we have. Gruden said in his conference today, we're not just playing rookies, we are playing the best we have. And you know what, straight up, you don't have to like that answer. I'm telling you right now, that is the answer. If you don't like that answer, go away. Don't have use for you. Because this isn't Alice in Wonderland. I'm not playing fairy tales with anybody. Okay? Raider fan for life. Probably longer than most of you have been alive. I'm telling you straight, I've watched this team. You're not going to tell me this is a team that is going to go out and compete right now, because they're not. Look at the defense. I analyze these films, and Gruden comes out and says Conley had a couple of times last week where he needs to get better. I don't know what he's talking about. What I do know is that Rashad Melvin is getting his you-know-what handed to him up and down the field all day, every day. Why is he out there? I'll give you Worley. Okay? I don't want to give you Melvin, and I don't want to give you Nelson, okay, as a safety. Don't. I don't want those. I want Conley and Worley, and I want Nelson replaced with Harris. Straight up, that's what I want. That's what we need. Harris had a mean hit in the end zone today. Knocked the ball up and went right to Worley. You know, that was nice. That Reggie Nelson isn't going to give you that kind of play. Defensive line. Did we get pressure? Hell no. We didn't get pressure. And if you want to point at Key's sack, I mean, it's a little hard to miss a sack when the guy's not moving and he's standing there and you hit him from behind because you've run from across the field. So, you know, attaboy Arden Key, but you didn't get that because of pressure. You just got that because the guy just stopped. He stopped. His feet were glued. And he was concentrating downfield, you know, while you had all day to get to him. Believe me, that wasn't a fast sack at all. Attaboy. No, that's garbage sack. Don't call that defensive production. What else? Our kicking team, right? Our punting today. Terrible. You know, our kicking, watching Seabass on the other side just reminds me more and more. Y'all think you miss Mac. You know, our kicking team is so suspect right now from the field. When do you all remember before these rules changed on extra points and everything, where so many kickers were becoming exposed for being so marginal and hit and miss in their kicking game? Used to be extra points were pretty much guaranteed. I don't know who these guys are. I don't know who these little spaghetti leg ninjas are out there that are supposed to be kicking the ball. They're supposed to be the best. Listen, when you play in college, it's the same field goal. It's the same goal size. And if you're busting records all over in college and you're the best, it's the same size field. Okay? No. Our kicking team is garbage right now. There is no more assurances on this kicking team anymore. All right. Next up, Amari Cooper. He's hurt right now. Do we trade him? What do you think? You trade him. You got to trade him. So we're not going to pay him $17 million next year for what he's given us production-wise. We're not going to pay him $17 million a year to keep him on a long-term contract with the production that he has. Okay? Sorry. And y'all say, well, you trade him, then you pretty much are mortgaging the season. You already mortgaged this season. This season is done. The best thing we can hope for right now is young talent development. Everybody stay healthy. And at this point, I don't see that happening with what happened with Derek Carr today. But I'm going to point some things out to you in a minute about what we're going to have to do. But we need to develop this talent. We need to get these first years into second years, you know, take their bumps and bruises and put on their Band-Aids, move on. Wiser, a little bit older, a little bit more into year two where they all know what's up now. Okay, these guys are not equipped to handle veteran NFL players opposite them. They're not. They may be a couple years from now, but they're not now. So, You get rid of Amari Cooper not because you want to, but you almost have to get something for him. Because if you just keep him the whole season as a marginal player that's not going to get you to the playoffs, not going to get you to the championship, and not going to get you to the Super Bowl. What, you just like the number 89 in a silver and black jersey? Give me one good reason you keep him. You're not going to win. This year is done. I'm going to come back next week. I'm going to show you it was done. And the week after, done. The week after, done. Done. Okay, not next week. Next week's a bye. But you get my point. We're not going to be having a new conversation here at all this season. Even if they do get, 4 or 5 wins, this conversation does not change. This season is done. They do not and have not had the personnel to compete in critical areas that you have to do to play in this league. You don't have a pass defense because you don't have a safety. You don't have a pass offense because you don't have a reliable blocking pass line. But I've got some ideas for you, and I'm gonna throw them down to you. But yes, you trade Cooper. Ideally, I'd like to see somebody really hard up for him, give us a number 1 in 2020. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. That's what I want. I want a number 1 for him. He was a number 1. But if we can get a number 2 next year, you got to do it. But you don't move him for anything less than number 2. You can't. And he will probably go somewhere else and excel because their particular offense, like Dallas, is in need of a number 1. They have a pretty good line. They have a great running back, and they have a serviceable quarterback. Dallas is ideal for Amari Cooper. I don't like Dallas at all. I live in Texas. I am so up to here with Cowboys fans year after year after year. Screw Cowboys fans. But look, they got one good receiver from us already. Bryce Butler. He's not a number 1, but he was a clutch guy when he played for us. And Amari is a legitimate number 1 on that staff. So, yes, you have to trade him. If you don't, it's beautiful from the fan point. It's really nice from the sentimental point. AC/DC, And people are going to complain. You're tearing stupid people. You've got to get rid of him. If you keep him, it is a stupid personnel decision. Unless you plan on picking up that $17 million plus tag a year next year. Would you do it? Would you pay him $17 million to go out there and drop balls for half the season? To go out there and get double covered and schemed out of most games? Well, you do it. You do it. I don't need stupid people in this channel. If you do it, leave. Leave my channel. I have no use for stupid people. Not in my life, and hell no, not on this channel. So what can we do to improve, guys? Those who are left, the smart people, I mean. Well, the number 1 thing we need right now, we need KO back. Okay, Feliciano needs to go. Sit on the sideline, keep learning, and then we'll cut him next year or whatever. Okay? But we need KO back. Okay? We need KO. Number 1. If we're going to have any chance in our running, any chance in our passing, and I'm going to get to passing in a minute, we need KO back. Number 1. Number 2. Look, Derek's got to go to shotgun. he has more chance being at shotgun and throwing the ball away or checking it down than he does from getting under center and trying to set up a pocket. 2, more rollouts. You need to do more rollout pass plays as well. Don't stand there and think there's a pocket there. You're not Tom Brady. Tom Brady would get killed in our offense right now. 3, you run like you did today. When you see they're going to leave you a hole, you run it. 4, we need some trick plays to stop the rush. We need reverses again. We need things that are going to bring people and stretch the field. Because if all they think we're going to do is hand off going forward or set up in a pocket, there's nothing there to stop them from just making a very simple game plan on us. 5, we need to work Jared Cook back into the offense again. Didn't show up today. Those are my thoughts on today's game. Those are my thoughts on our team. Look, we are rebuilding. I can't hate on the Raiders for not having a whole host of number 1, 100% draft picks. In parts, we can look at past drafts. You know, you want to get on Reggie McKenzie for not hitting on drafts? You're stupid. Why do I say that? Why are you stupid? Why are you stupid? I'm going to tell you why. Because there's no such thing in life as a sure thing. And if you think you or anyone else can go out there, evaluate talent, and then it's going to be 100% good, you're fooling yourself. Maybe Bill Belichick would have chosen differently. But on paper, on intangibles, we got the best people that we can get. I would argue with you that we probably should have gotten ourselves a safety this year instead of Colton Miller. But Gruden is right in understanding that if you're going to have a $1 million+ quarterback in your stable, you're going to need to have a line that's going to block for him. So he understands you have to start somewhere to develop talent. You know, if we trade Cooper, one of those 4 picks in the next couple years has got to be a wide receiver. He may or may not pan out. You know, for every number 1, you've got what's that guy's name? Kevin White on Chicago Bears. You know, you've got Perryman. You've got, you know, guys that are number 1s. They come out looking great, and, you know, they're not. It's very hard to transition from college to the NFL for most of these people. So we're going to have to get a receiver. Cooper isn't our future, man. He's had all this time to develop. He's been injured. You know, all he's shown is potential. And he may be better than we give him credit, but we don't have the personnel to make him work with us. And certainly, if that's the case, then we can't afford to pick up that ticket. Straight up. All right, man. One love, Raider Nation. Those are my thoughts. Always welcome yours. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the, emails, PMs, and such. Appreciate it. One love, Raider Nation. Bye week.